Stanley, Shepashina, Oloitiptip. He is one of the rarest Kenyans, and you'll find that 90% of what people talk about him is rare, that you cannot find with any other Kenyan. Before I start talking about him, there are two things I wanted to say because I'll forget. There is the senator for Lamu. Is called Oloitiptip, not Oloitiptip. Well, believe it or not, the senator is a grandchild of Oloitiptip. Now, this thing about intermarriages and moving from one place to another, you find that you move to another place, you alter your name slightly to fit the area, culture and customs of the people there. So Senator Oloitiptip, who is a grandson to Mike Mbuvi Sonko, who is a son-in-law to Mike Mbuvi Sonko and a grandson to Oloitiptip, really resembles his maternal grandfather. Maybe on the part of weight, of course, Senator Oloitiptip is heavy, but when you compare to his maternal grandfather, you'll find that hiyo ni mchezo. Oloitiptip, when my father was the county police commander in Kajiado, I saw him one day coming with a goat and handing it over to us. I had never seen him, but there are rumors which generally people take it to be true, that he could eat half a goat in one sitting. So in a day he could eat a full goat. I believe, although I cannot prove it, but I believe it to be true. Later on, that was in 1969, later on my father was transferred out of Kajiado, and due to other reasons, medical generally, I left Kajiado and joined Mbagathi Road Primary School. At Mbagathi Road Primary School, we had two of Oloitiptip's sons. We had two of Oloitiptip's sons at Mbagathi Road Primary School, 1975, the candidates of 1975. Of course, with Marie Wandaka, the famous song, she was my classmate. So, Oloitiptip, when I was in Mbagathi Road Primary School, he was then a minister of state. No, he was not a minister of state. He was the Minister for Natural Resources. And he was staying, if you go right now to Equity Bank, opposite the main gate, there is a wooden house at a junction of two houses, of two roads. I don't know, I can't recall the roads now. But directly opposite Equity Bank in Upper Hill, there is a place where Equity Bank staff park their vehicle. The plot has a very old wooden house. It had a very old wooden house. That is the house that Oloitiptip used to stay. Today it is the parking lot of Equity Bank. You'll find, I want to say this, those days, today an MCA can stay in one of the best houses, but those days a whole minister used to stay in such an occasion. When it comes to vehicles, most ministers or most MPs used to have Peugeot 504. Of course, the vehicles of that time and the vehicles of this time are different. They are different in that Peugeot 504 used to be considered a high-end, but if you relate it today, the kind of vehicles that if we were to graph it and say the MPs of today, maybe you'll find that they are not even, today they are earning a lot, they They are with good vehicles. They are staying in a very good. And you remember when he was staying at Upper Hill, next to Equity, still we used to have people staying in Karen, in Mothaiga. But ministers used to stay in ordinary places. Oloitiptip was a close friend of Moi. And even when Oloitiptip sensed that Moi was to be overthrown by Njonjo, he went ahead and informed Moi, told Moi that Njonjo was a fake friend and is planning to overthrow you. Moi took no action. This one goes to confirm what I believe, that Moi had powers to stop the 1982 coup attempt, but he let it happen, knowing very well that it would not succeed, and he wanted to use an excuse to purge people. So when Oloitiptip, Stanley, Shepashina, Ole, and then you come to Oloitiptip. When Oloitiptip informed Moi that Njonjo wanted to overthrow him, Moi ignored the advice. Or he knew, but he had other plans. So what Oloitiptip did was to go straight to Njonjo and join Njonjo. And when Njonjo time came to fall down, Oloitiptip was one of them. During Moi's time, you fell out with him. I am also a living example. He made sure that you went to a life that was, even your houseboy would, when your houseboy, when you are a minister, would be living better than what you, the minister, would be placed. So Oloitiptip was led into perjury, monetary embarrassment. He, nowadays, even an MP or an MCA would build a very good house at home. But MPs of those days, and ministers of those days, councillors of those days, were people who were out to serve people without looking for money. So Oloitiptip went back to Oloitoktok. Oloitiptip went back to Oloitoktok, stayed in a simple Maasai life. Then the pressure, this thinking about how life was and how you're supposed to, it brings, and somebody has a high blood pressure, it brought a lot of tension, the medical problem to him. Oloitiptip could not afford to go to the hospital. So he came from a place called Rombo. Yeah, Rombo near Oloitoktok. He found that the only way he could afford his medication was to go to a traditional medicine man. But the traditional things were so bad that he died. It was unfortunate that when Stanley Shepashina Oloitiptip died, all newspapers said that he had been to a witch doctor. Well, for people who speak English, maybe differentiating a traditional medicine and witch and amuga. There is a person who is out to roga people, and there are the people who treat people using traditional medicine. To some extent, it is hard to differentiate the two, but where Oloitiptip went was a place where they treat his sugar level, high blood pressure, and he died. And funny thing is that when he died, okay, Moi sent his condolences, but I would rather not get such condolences. He said that he was mourning the death of another Kenyan. I knew Oloitiptip personally. Of course, when my father was the county police commander in Kajiado, and his two sons were my classmates in Bagathi, Oloitiptip was a kind-hearted person. May God rest his soul in peace. Amen.